There you go. How you guys doing today? How you doing? How you doing? I promised myself I was going to become more focused on social media and providing information. I am not a gatekeeper when it comes to credit repair. I tell everybody, you don't have to pay me to do it. I'll teach you how to do it when you got the time to do it. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I wanted to do this live is because recently I am in Indianapolis, Indiana. I am doing a one-on-one master's class with a client who is learning how to do credit repair. So I'm doing a one-on-one master class with him. I'm teaching him everything I know and more, setting up all his platforms, his affiliate programs. We're doing everything it takes for him to be successful. You know what I'm saying? While I'm in town. And I appreciate his patronage because he is the first client I've ever had that paid me what I asked and see the full value of it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I said it to say this. Indianapolis, Indiana is like a lot of Midwestern cities. They're going downhill. You know what I'm saying? It's the rich are getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. And what I noticed is that 3 of the places that my wife and I went to patronize did not accept cash. It was debit or credit card only. So think about that. Debit or credit card only. They did not accept cash. And they did accept cash for various reasons. You know, whether it was they were in high crime areas, whether when it comes to employee theft, you know what I'm saying? Whether it came to just managing the money a lot easier with people using credit and debit cards. And each one of these venues, they had no surcharge. So whatever the charge was, that's what you paid. So if your bill came up to $28.95, you paid $28.95. There was no surcharge on the credit or debit card. So I got to thinking. I read an article. It said that children born in 2023 and beyond would never, ever see green currency. Think about that. Children born in 2023 and beyond would never, ever see green currency because everything will be digital. Everything. So the way I'm thinking is that if everything is going to be digital, then everything is going to be credit-based. Everything. Because anyone that has a debit card and frequently uses a debit card, they go about things the wrong way. You should never use a debit card. Never. You should never, ever, ever use a debit card. There is no reason to use a debit card. You should always use a credit card, particularly credit cards. They give you cash back. They give you incentives to use the credit card. And also credit cards protect you. If your debit card comes up missing, all right, if you lose your debit card and someone figures out your PIN number and they go into your account and they're able to withdraw your money out your account, It may take weeks or months for you to dispute that with the bank. But when it comes to a credit card, one simple phone call to the credit card company, and immediately that charge is reversed. Whoever that merchant is loses that money, and it goes back on your card, and most likely they're going to close that card out and send you a new one because that card has been compromised. So the question I have for everyone today is, what are your 2025 credit goals? Particularly if you have a credit score right now at 3, 4, 5, or 6 range, you are in a critical position to be stuck where you at. I mean, literally stuck where you at. If you have a credit score that begins with a 4, 5, or 6, God forbid a 3, but if you have a credit score that begins with a 4, 5, or 6, you are literally stuck. Literally stuck. Right now, people are living more and more off of their credit cards just to pay basic bills and to buy groceries. But what happens if they didn't have it? What happens if they didn't have it? Myself personally, I pay everything on my credit cards because of the cash back. I don't use cash for anything. I don't use a debit card. Matter of fact, I don't even carry a debit card. I use cash. I use my credit cards for everything. Everything, because I get cash back. So what are your 2025 goals? Because I guarantee you, whatever your goals are, your credit score is connected to those goals. Whether if you want to move or if you want to, especially for parents. If you're a parent, right? If you're a parent and you live in a less desirable community and your children go to schools that are not up to par. Right now in the city of St. Louis, they're saying that 96% of the 8th graders are reading on a 3rd grade level. That's because of the communities that they live in. All right? That's because of the communities that they live in, the quality of life, the quality of education of the communities that they live in. Because if you go right outside of St. Louis City, and you go to suburbs like Creve Coeur, Wildwood, Clayton, a lot of those children are reading and their math skills are beyond their grade level. And it's still public school. It's still public school, but it's just in a different environment, a different community. But oftentimes what stops us from moving to better communities, it's not the money. It's not the money. I remember coming home from the feds and I was working 2 jobs and I was making some pretty good money because I was single. I wasn't going on dates. I wasn't tricking off. I wasn't going to the club. I was able to save. So I could afford to move to a better community. But in order to move to a better community, they wanted a minimum credit score of 680. I didn't have it. So I had to move to a whole other state. Across from Missouri is Illinois. I had to move to Illinois in order to get away from my prior environment because I didn't want to go back to the same environment I came from and end up being a victim of the same things I was doing that led me to the feds. So oftentimes as a parent, you want to do better. You want to do better for your children. You want to move in a better community. You want them to have a better education. I would think, in some cases I may be wrong, but I would think if I had an opportunity for my child to go to a city school district that's plagued with, books that were published back in 2010 that were teachers are burnt out, the education system burnt out, violence in the school, drug use in the school. Right now there's a couple of St. Louis public schools that have the highest STD rates in the nation. I would think as a parent, if you could avoid that, you will want to do better by your child. But the difference between you doing better is you move into a better community. That's the only way to avoid it. You have to move to a better community. You have to. My parents made sacrifices for me that I didn't appreciate until I was much older. And now I made sacrifices for my children. I moved all the way to Miami, to the suburbs called Plantation, Florida. Plantation High School is one of the top high schools and grade schools in the state of Florida. And what persuaded my judgment to move to that suburb was the school. It wasn't the houses. It wasn't shopping. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't great for singles. Like, it was, what kind of education can I get at this place? You know what I'm saying? So what are some of your goals? Okay, Jermaine, how does my loved one get started? Tell you what, hit me at a DM, send me a DM, and let's talk about it. I got you. For everybody know, I'm on several different platforms. I'm on everything. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on everything at the same time. So I got people asking questions from different platforms. But yeah, Jermaine, just hit me at a DM. And we'll get you started. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely get you started. And again, you don't have to pay me to do it. The reason why people pay me is because I have time to do it. This is all I do every day of the week. 6.5 days of the week. This is all I do is credit repair, business funding. Like I say, right now I'm in Indianapolis doing a one-on-one mastermind with a person that wants to learn how to start their own credit repair business. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's another thing I want to discuss too. Not only are a lot of merchants going cashless, because I ran into three in 3 days that I've been here. I ran into 3 different merchants that do not accept cash at all. They don't accept cash at all. Strictly debit and credit cards. That's it. Like, it got me to thinking more about this also. A lot of these manual labor jobs, a lot of you people that work at like Amazon plants and factory warehouses, truck drivers, robotics, AI is taking all that over. You got to pivot. You got to figure out, what the fuck am I going to do after the next 5 years? What am I going to do? Because I'm telling you right now, like, we was on our way here on the highway and we seen a self-driving 18-wheeler. Fucked me up. I was like, this shit is real. Like, this shit is real. In the next 5 years, robotics and AI is going to take over the majority of jobs. Me and my wife was in Vegas a few months ago. It was a restaurant where robotics was preparing the burgers. I mean, literally from cooking it to dressing it to wrapping it up to, you go to Walmart right now, it's maybe one cashier, everything is self-checkout. Right now, Amazon have stores that they're testing to where if you're an Amazon member, right, the moment you walk in, the cameras recognize who you are and you're in the system. Every time you pick an item up off the shelf, you're charged for it. But then when you put the item back, they take the charge off. So everything that you take off the shelf and put into your cart, you're already charged for it. And you just roll up to the front, bag it up, and walk out the door. That's it. That's it. That's the future that we're heading to right now. So if you're a fast food worker, if you work at anything that's dealing with manual labor, you got to ask yourself, what the fuck am I going to be doing in the next 5 years? What am I going to be doing? Even administrative assistants, secretaries. Hey, I got a friend right now, today, he showed me a new website he's working on. He's a big tech nerd guy, all right? As a matter of fact, his website is called NerdMD. His Instagram handle, Facebook, everything is called NerdMD. He literally showed me today where they have AI doing cold calls. They're doing cold calls. And based off your response to the call, they know how to respond back. Like they can literally have an entire conversation with you. An entire conversation. Think about that. Answer your questions, everything. Everything. So why would I need a secretary? Why would I need administrative assistants? In the next 5 years, man, life is going to change drastically for a lot of people, man. And I don't give a fuck what the political outcome is. It doesn't matter. You know, I think we're going to benefit more from one candidate to another. However, the poor are going to get poor if they don't start getting their shit together. This is the best time to get your credit together and leverage your credit to get assets. It's the best time. It's the best time. When people say everybody broke, everybody's not broke. Let me tell you that. Everybody ain't broke, man. Everybody ain't broke. They building more luxury condominiums, more luxury apartments than ever right now. Right through any major city. You see the construction. Somebody living there. My cat. Jesus Christ. somebody living there. They ain't building empty spaces. Somebody living there. You know what I'm saying? In my neighborhood back in St. Louis, I've watched them build luxury condominiums and within weeks, full capacity. So everybody's not broke. It's just the people that you're around is broke. You see more and more restaurants having grand openings. You see more and more fucking R&B brunches now than ever before. Ever before. Everybody's not broke. People may be more cautious with their money, but they're not broke. Trust me. Maybe the people you're around broke. That could be the situation. The people that you're around broke. But I ain't seen not one club shut down because it wasn't getting business. They probably got shut down for other reasons. But I ain't seen one nightclub, one strip club get shut down because they didn't have patronage. Because people were there paying 10 times the price of the bottles, paying 10 times the price of a drink. Go to Miami one weekend. Go to Brickell. go to Brickell and tell me people broke. People are not broke, man. People you're around broke. You know what I'm saying? People you're around broke. It's money out there, and it's plenty of it. There's plenty of it. And it's easier to get than ever. What's stopping you versus anyone else is most likely your credit score. It's your credit score. I heard a debate the other day where the guy said that Navy Federal turned down more black applicants for homes than any other ethnic race. And Navy Federal responded, we didn't turn them down because they were black. We turned them down because they had poor credit scores. You know what I'm saying? Like with anything else, if you got a poor credit score, you stuck. You literally stuck. We have to learn how to take our credit and leverage our credit into assets. You know what I'm saying? There are people I know right now that got $3,000, $4,000, $20,000 credit cards and they're afraid to use them. They're afraid to use them. And when I come along and say, look, man, liquidate them cards. Out of 5 cards, you got $100,000. Get 80 grand. Get 80 grand. Get 80 grand. Cash. Liquidate 80 grand off them 5 cards. But before you do that, figure out a plan of what you're going to do with that money. Create an asset that's going to pay the cards back off. You know what they tell me? Man, I don't want to fuck my credit score up. Your credit score? The purpose of your credit score is to get what you got to create an asset, not to wait to go to vacation twice a year. Not for a rainy day. Because I tell you what, you know what credit card companies are doing right now? They pushing back. I got several clients. They had $10,000, $15,000 credit cards, but they was only using like maybe $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. And guess what the credit card company did? They cut them in half. Or let's say you got a credit card with $15,000 on it, right? and you normally only spend $1,000 a month, and all of a sudden, you decide to do something big, you spend $5,000. They're gonna cut the card in half because now you shook them because you never extended that far. You never extended that far. Remember what I told you in the beginning? I use my credit cards for everything. I never pay cash. I never pay cash. If you see me with cash in my pocket, it's what I consider to be petty cash or something to where I'm on my way to the bank to deposit. That's it. I never, ever, ever use a debit card or pay cash. Never. And if you're a person right now that currently uses a debit card, if you currently use a debit card, shoot me a DM. All right, let's find you a good credit card. You know what I'm saying? Whether you got good credit, bad credit, you know what I'm saying? There are some good companies out there to where even if you got bad credit, you know what I'm saying, they give you a credit card. I know a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? You may have to start with a secure card, which is no different than you using a debit card, because if you're using a debit card right now for everything, let's say you swipe $2,000 a month on your debit card. You know what I'm saying? Put $1,000 on a secure credit card. And I got some really, really good secure credit cards that I deal with that report to all three credit reporting agencies that will boost your credit score in no time. In no time. None at all. But stop using debit cards. Stop it. All right. And where I left off that was those people that are working in these service industries. You guys got to come up with a plan B. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of the saddest things I see, is someone who should be living the twilight of the year. Like they gave their service. They've done what they could do for this nation, for their community. And they're 65, 66 years old, and the government has failed them. They thought they were going to get Social Security and ride out, and the government has failed them. So now when you go to Walmart, you see them pushing Walmart carts. I remember growing up, fast food restaurant was for teenagers. Even the manager may be 25, 27, maybe 30 if he was a career guy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 30 if he was a career guy. You trying to be general manager, area director one day. But when I was growing up, man, Popeyes, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, all those jobs were for teenagers. Teenagers. You go to any fast food restaurant right now, the average age of that bitch may be 40 fucking years old, man. 40 to 70. 40 to 70. Right now. Go to any fast food restaurant. That scares me. I don't know about you, but that scares me, man. That scares me. Any fast food restaurant right now, man. Your parents working in there. Your parents. That scares me. It's not because they made bad decisions or bad choices. It's because they thought that something was going to happen when they got to a certain age, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I got a client right now that's 66 years old that I am fixing her credit at 60. She's never had credit in her life. At 66 years old, I am fixing her credit. And she is an assistant manager at Rally's at 66 years old. That scares me. That scares me. So if you're one of those people that work in that service industry, man, in the next 5 years, you're up. Get ready. Get ready. Truck drivers. I have several clients that are truck drivers right now. Several. You know what I'm saying? Over the road truck drivers, only on independent trucks. Starving. Trying to sell them, trying to get rid of them. They're starving right now. You know what I'm saying? They're starving. Between self-driving trucks and between the big corporation, the big trucking company squeezing them out, between the loads are not even worth picking up and carrying, because by the time they factor in time and fuel, they make it pennies on the dollar. They suffering. And the fact that if they got multiple trucks, they can't find employees. They suffering. If you're in the service industry, your best bet is to fix your fucking credit and create your own assets, whether it be real estate, a store, a restaurant, something that could self-sustain you. Because being an employee, that employee class is almost over. Almost over. I don't know if you guys see that on Instagram where I want to say it was a new CVS. It could be the new CVS or a new Walgreens. And every item in the store was behind glass. Every item in the store was behind glass to prevent theft. And one person in the store. One person. One person in the store. That's all they need. You see something you like, he go around, unlock it, give it to you. He actually scanned it right there. Beep, hand it to you. You already paid for it. Beep. That's where we headed. That's where we headed right now. Society is going to change in a drastic way. It's going to change in a drastic way, and either you're going to be prepared to change with it, or you're going to crumble up under the pressure. That's another thing I want to talk about, man. How you doing out there, man? How you people doing out there? How is your mental health? How is your mental health? I've seen some things in St. Louis. I've seen some things here in Indianapolis that really make me question, is the economy creating this mental health crisis that we see today? You know what I'm saying? Like you got dope boys. You got dope boys trying to get jobs right now. Like it's critical out there right now. It's critical. Like everybody trying to start a podcast. Everybody. They talking about any and everything. Like everybody trying to figure out a way. How can I graft these straws to survive? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I grasp these straws to survive? Like, what do I have to do to survive? And I think everybody is in survival mode right now, man. Everybody's in survival mode. That's why this year's election is so important. It's not going to get better overnight. No matter who wins the election, the only person that can save you is you. That's it. The only person that can save you is you. I remember just 3-4 years ago, riding through North St. Louis, the majority of the contractors in North St. Louis that were doing like the home remodels and the tuck point and the landscaping, they all look like me. They all look like me. You can ride through North St. Louis right now, which is like 95% African American. North St. Louis. The people who work in that community, they don't look like me anymore. They don't look like me no more. The guys that are doing the tuck point, the landscaping, the painting, the remodeling of the homes, for whatever reason, maybe they outbidded the other contractor or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Like I've seen landscapers pull up with 20 Mexicans on the back of that motherfucker and knock off a whole football field in 20 minutes and hop back on and go to the next job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they move like the military. But for whatever reason, they don't look like me anymore. In my own community, they don't look like me. And I don't think it's because the people in my community don't want to work. I think it's because they offer the same services at a cheaper price. You know what I mean? And most people always want to go with what's cheaper as opposed to what's better. You know, so what are your goals for 2025? What are your financial goals for 2025? What are your personal goals for 2025? Because I guarantee whatever they are is connected to your credit. It's connected to your credit. One way or the other, it is connected to your credit. So I want everyone, please follow me on Instagram at Pleasant Management, spelled all the way out. Pleasant Management. Also follow me on Instagram at The Real Big Mo, BIGMO, STL_. Also follow our website, Pleasant Management, MGMT.net, pleasantmanagement.net. And again, I give out a lot of free information. You go to my Facebook page, I give out a lot of free information. Again, we're not gatekeepers, you know what I mean? But you guys really need to start thinking. If you haven't thought about 2025 yet, you're behind the 8 ball. You late. If you haven't already created a plan, what up, Peasy? What's going on, 213 Peasy? You know what I'm saying? But if you haven't already thought about your 2025 goals, you're already behind the 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? You're behind the 8 ball. And one last thing I want to say before I leave. For those that are in relationships, you know, we always hear about this, you know, I'm not going 50-50, blah, blah. Listen. Men, you know, it seems like it's always the women that's talking about, I'm not going 50-50. If she ain't going 50-50, fuck it. Move on. I don't give a fuck how good she look. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, we don't go 50-50. We go 100-100. I don't want half or nothing. If you with me, I don't want half or nothing. Ain't no 50-50. It's 100-100. And that's why we're able to survive. You know what I'm saying? Where I fall short, she stands tall. Where she falls short, I stand tall. That's why we're able to survive. It ain't no 50-50 conversation between us. We ain't talking no 50-50 shit. It's 100-100. You want all of me, I want all of you. That's how we're going to do this thing. We're going to put this shit in a basket, and we're going to take care of business. I got access to the same thing you got access to. It ain't no, oh, I got my account over here, you got your account. No, it ain't none of that. It ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of that. I got access to the same things you have access to. Ain't no financial secrets between us. We know exactly what's going on in our financial world. We know exactly what's going on. So all in all, I'm not going 50-50 with a man. Most of these women never had a man. Most of these women never seen a man. Don't even know what a man looked like because their mama never had a man. Their mama never been married. Their grandmama never been married. I'm fortunate. My wife fortunate. My wife's parents are married. Her grandparents are married. My parents were married. My grandparents were married. So I seen what a marriage looked like and how a marriage works. But if you've never seen a marriage and how a marriage works, you can't speak on it. You can't speak on it. I tell my wife all the time, regardless of what the fuck we get into it about, don't talk to your single friends. They don't know what the fuck we going through in here. Shit. You don't know what the fuck we going through in here. They single. Or they got a new boyfriend. The last one was just 2 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we're not having those conversations. Ain't no 50-50. It's all or nothing with me. It should be all or nothing with you, black man, brown man, white man, Asian, whoever. If you're a man, ain't no conversation about nothing 50-50. I've never heard my mother ask my father for anything. I've never heard my father ask my mother for anything. My grandparents for anything. Like, they just took care of business. That's it. They took care of business. It wasn't no, okay, he take care of the rent, so I'm going to pay the bills. Like, nah. Fuck you mean? Nah. We ain't doing this. Just put all this shit in the pot. Let's roll. We're going to take care of it as it come along. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take care of business as business come along. Because that's where relationships get fucked up at when everybody decide what they're going to take care of. Oh, well, I pay the electric and the gas and the water and you pay the rent. But then as soon as something happened in his financial world to where he could no longer pay the rent, now you want to book up and leave because you had an agreement with him paying the rent. Oh, I'm not paying the rent. You know why? Because it was 50-50. It was 50-50. But if it was 100-100, a woman or a man gonna do what they gotta do. If she lose her job, I got you. If he lose his job, I got you. Ain't no 50-50 because I don't want half your time. If I get half your time, who get the other half? If I get half your body, who get the other half? If I got half your mind, who get the other half? But if I get half your attention, who get the other half? If I get half your money, who get the other half? Ain't no 50-50. And I don't care how old you are. You could be 18 jumping off the front porch in love currently. Ain't no 50-50 at all. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I hear that conversation every day. Like, how you feel about 50-50 relationships? I've never been in one. I've never been in one. Never. Every woman I've ever took serious in my life, they knew off top. Drop that shit in the bag. Drop it off. Check, tips, whatever. Drop it in the bag. That's how we gonna roll. That's exactly how we gonna roll. Ain't no 50-50 over here. Ever. Ever. It's 100. 100. If you don't like that, kick rocks. Keep it moving. There's 2 billion people in the world. I'll find the right one. So guys, again, think about your 2025 goals. What do you say? You have to know if you're still doing it. Yes. I'm definitely, when I get back to St. Louis, we actually have the podcast set up. I don't know if you guys ever heard of B Magic. B Magic is, like, to me, one of the top 10 coldest battle rappers ever. We have 4 out of the top 10 that actually live in St. Louis, and 2 out of 4 are very good friends with Averb, who was probably top 3. B Magic, who was definitely top 10. Hitman Holla, definitely top 10. And it's one more. I can't think of the brother's name, man. I can't think of his name, but it's one more brother out of St. Louis. But they're top 10 battle rappers. But anyway, B Magic is going to come to my house next week. The only thing I have to set up is the microphones. I have everything. He's going to calibrate my cameras and set up the microphone. But PV, anytime you want to go live on StreamYard, bro, we can do that because you got a story to tell, man. And I love your story, man. I love your story. Like, I love stories of people that have overcame adversity, that have been close to the pits of hell and jumped up off the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I said it to say this. I got a very good friend of mine. If you go to the United Way, you'll actually see his picture on the poster. It was revealed today. This is a guy I was in the feds with. And real quick story, true story. His name is Johnny Cotton. Johnny Cotton was sentenced incorrectly in federal penitentiary. Like, he committed the crime. No, he was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? He was a drug dealer. And he committed the crime. He got caught. However, when they sentenced him, they used the incorrect guideline to sentence him, and he ended up getting life in federal prison. So when Obama became president, which was like 20 years later after he was sentenced, when Obama became president, Obama gave him clemency because the lawyers were able to see the mistake that occurred 20 years ago that he was fighting, and Obama gave him clemency. So there's a thing called the Second Chance Act. It was something that I used to get back on my feet when I came home from federal penitentiary. It's called the Second Chance Act. And Johnny Cotton probably used the Second Chance Act better than anybody ever knew. Anybody. You know, he joined the Urban League. The Urban League, like, literally put him on. He became the face of success with the Urban League. And now he's the face of United Way. They put him on a poster. Great guy. Only been home. I think we came home around the same time. So October of next month would be my 6-year reunion home. And I think his 5th-year reunion home. So within 5 years, this guy done bought a house, multiple cars, owned his own business, worked for the city. Within 5 years. So that's why I do not accept excuses from no motherfucker, bro. I don't accept excuses from nobody. And I'm sorry I'm preaching right now, but I don't accept excuses from nobody. You cannot give me excuses because I've seen guys come home from nothing. They came home from nothing. And within 3 to 5 years, they doing what people that never been in jail doing. Never. I got a friend right now, just came home from doing 33 years in prison. 33 years. He been home less than 2 years and already got an eBay store set up. He got an Amazon store set up. Like, he one of them guys that go and buy the whole pallet of shit and sell it. Like, he booming. He hasn't even been home 2 years yet. Not even 2 years. Bought a house, got investment property. 2 years. So when I tell people, man, this shit ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. You just gotta make sacrifices. You gotta say, no, something. I'm gonna take a year, 2 years, fuck the club. Fuck a club. If you got a mate that you deal with right now, and she ain't cooperating, or he ain't cooperating, cut that shit out, move on. I don't need you right now. I gotta get focused. You want to argue all the time. You want to gaslight all the time. You fucking my motivation up right now. If you with somebody like that, man, fuck them. There's 2 billion people in the world. You'll find somebody, trust me. There's somebody out there waiting on you right now. Fuck them. How are people able to come home from prison after doing 10, 15, 20, 30? My homeboy did 33 years. We were in this prison called Missouri State Penitentiary, the Walls. Time magazine did an article on this prison in the 80s. It was considered the worst prison in the United States of America. It was more murders committed in this prison than certain neighborhoods. That's how bad this prison was. And I met him back there. That's where I met him at. We were 2 of the youngest people in this prison. 2 of the youngest. He did 33 years. 33 years. Entrepreneur. Getting it, hustling. And he's like 52 years old. I be watching these little young motherfuckers be 20 outside of Family Dollar and Dollar Tree begging. Bro, you 20 years old, man. You begging. Begging is not a hustle. Begging is not a hustle. I'm sorry. Begging is not a hustle. Even with you young women out here, man, y'all in that social media fuck y'all up so bad. Y'all think you supposed to just beat somebody like, yo, cash out me. Cash out you? Can't even do basic math. Stop it. Stop it, man. All it takes is laser focus. Anything you do consistently, you'll get good at. That's my quote. Anything you do consistently, you will be good at. You could be doing something consistently bad. You'll be good at it. You can be doing something consistently good, and you'll be good at it. Just be smart. I had a young man this past summer. Young man come to me, actually my cousin. He wanted to borrow some money. His rent was due. I own property in North St. Louis on a corner called Fern Kossuth. On Fern Kossuth, anybody in St. Louis know, at least 1,000 cars a day cross this intersection because it's directly across the street from the park. At least 1,000 cars a day pass this intersection. You know what I told my cousin? And I hope you watch. I told my little cousin, I said, I tell you what, cuz, I go to Costco and I get 10 cases of water. And we could put that water on ice. And you can stand out there and sell a bottle of water. And I'll split the profit with you 50-50. Because he's not working. He get food stamps. So he can't work. He don't want to work. I mean, he get food stamps. He probably getting all kind of shit from the Urban League and fucking United Way, and because that's what these young, uneducated, don't want to work, lazy men do. Like, they figure out, oh, they're gonna pay my rent. Well, hey, I'm gonna let them pay my rent. Like, and unfortunately, my cousin is one of those guys. I say, cuz, I tell you what, I'm gonna go get 10 cases of water. Let me get some coolers and some ice. And I'm gonna let you sell this water on the corner, like the Water Boys in Atlanta. Because guess what? If you've never been to Atlanta, the Water Boys, they make hundreds of dollars a day. So that's why I tell my cousin, it's over 1,000 cars between 6 a.m., 5 p.m., over 1,000 cars hitting this intersection. Let's stand out there and sell water. And then eventually we'll build up more product. We start selling candy. We start Maybe doing ice cream. Like I'm even willing to buy a cart to sell hot dogs, a hot dog cart. Like let's build. Let's start with water and build. Oh no, cuz I can't do that, cuz I can't be out there selling the water. Like you got a reputation to save. Like, but this is real life though. This is real life, man. And I promise you, and this is the reason why guys that come home from prison run circles around these guys. They half their age. They run circles around them because it ain't no pride when it comes to making money. Ain't none. Ain't no pride when it comes to making money. If I got to sell hot dogs out of cart, I'll do it. If I got to sell bottled water, I'll do it. If I got to cut grass, I'll do it. I'm going to do whatever it takes for me not to go the fuck back to the feds. That's what I'm going to do. Whatever it takes for me not to go the fuck back to the feds. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Because I know what it feels like to be on the other side, left for dead. And that's the problem. A lot of these young people don't know what it feels like. But the shit that they do, unfortunately, they might not see daylight for 20, 30, 40 years. Because when they fuck up, they fuck up. So I'm sorry, I got way off the subject. I apologize. Anyway, that's me. You know what I mean? That's just me, man. I try to share my experiences with people. I try to let people know that, you know, credit saved my life in so many ways. It saved my life. It was months to where when I first, you know, quit my job because of poor health. Actually, I got fired. I didn't quit. They fired me because I had poor health. Had it not been for my credit for those few months that I wasn't working, like I would have been homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have lost my home. I would have lost my car. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have lost everything had it not been for credit. You know what I mean? So, and credit is something that you could always use to rebuild, fuck up, start over again. That's the beauty of credit. That's the beauty. But the main thing when it comes to credit is to build up your credit cards, build up those personal loans, and create an asset. Right now, and my wife can attest to this, it's an organization that I went to before I came to Indianapolis. And I said, hey, look, I'm trying to open up my restaurant because prior to COVID, me and my business partner was trying to open up a restaurant in St. Louis in one of my properties. And COVID hit and it, you know, fucked us up. And I fucked up a lot of money because I had just got a loan. I had just got like $100,000 loan to open up that business. And COVID hit and I was still paying like $1,800 a month for 2 years during COVID. And then we had a contractor that actually died. Like we paid this contractor like $30,000 to do some work, and he died from COVID. And his family was like, you know, what do we do? You know, they dissolved the business. I mean, we just lost. You know what I'm saying? We lost. Like, how do you recuperate from that? We lost. Like, I took a lot of losses during COVID. But this organization, I went back to him and I said, hey, man, look, I need to get 50 grand to get this restaurant open. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already on the hook with you guys. From that $100,000 loan, I probably owe them like maybe 50. You know what I'm saying? Never missed a payment. Never missed a payment. And she sent me an email and said, I can make 50 happen as long as your credit score over 700. She said, if your credit score is over 700, I can have a check deposited in your account within a week for $50,000. That's it. That's it. And it's going to be in my business name. It's not going to be in my personal name. It's going to be in the business name for $50,000. True story. When I get back to St. Louis, I'm going to go to the office and let them run my credit because my credit is a 736 TransUnion. You know what I'm saying? Let them run my credit. And I'm going to get their bread. I'm going to get this restaurant open. You know, so that's the whole purpose of credit, man, is to create assets. And because we're putting a restaurant in a low-income, blighted community, and we're serving fresh food, fresh vegetables, because the only thing that's in this community is fast food restaurants and Chinese restaurants, and we're offering something totally different. we're not doing soul food. We're doing fresh food. You know what I'm saying? And there is no doubt in my mind that we're going to be extremely successful at this location. Like I said, it's right across the street from the park where I was trying to get my little cousin to sell the water at. So, but that's the whole purpose of credit, man, is to create assets. Right now, banks are throwing away cars. Like they if you got a 620 or better credit score, 630 or better credit score, credit unions are throwing away vehicle loans. Get you a new vehicle, man. Put it on Turo. Rent out to somebody. I got a back in St. Louis, I got a 2012 Malibu. I got a guy right now want to give me $200 a week to rent it. $200, $800 a month for a 2012 Malibu. That runs great. And when I get to St. Louis, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? $800 a month for a car that sits in my driveway. So it's so many different ways of making money. You know what I mean? You just have to be creative and learn from what other people are doing. I learned a lot from people like him, 500, Tony the Closer, even though they beefing, the whole circle of CEOs, and take information with a grain of salt. Do your research. During the PPP days, when everybody was getting that bread, during the PPP days, where everybody was getting money, they was going out paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for courses that was useless, because the people that's selling you courses, that's not how they got rich. So when you see them standing in front of exotic cars, in front of exotic houses, taking exotic vacations, that's not how they got rich. They got rich selling you the courses. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't get rich utilizing the courses. Like, they got rich selling you the courses. That's how they got rich. So I think now you see those same people, those same courses that was $2,500, $3,500 during the pandemic. Them same courses, not $97. But if you get 20,000 people to buy your $97 course, see what I'm saying? It's a numbers game, man. It's a numbers game. And oftentimes, unfortunately, those courses equal to nothing. I've taken advantage of some. I have. I'll wait until they're like, today only, $37. And that same course literally was like, $9.99 2 months ago. Now it's $37. I buy it just to see it. It ain't nothing, man. Information that you can get off YouTube. You know what I mean? Word of mouth bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do your due diligence yourself. You have to do your own due diligence. You can't rely on other people to do your homework for you. I got clients right now to be like, yo, I want to pay you to do this. And I'm like, I can't, because you could Google that information. like you could simply Google that information. Like I have integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to take your $500 and go on AI and build you a business plan off AI software, build you a business plan in literally 24 hours and take your $500 and send it to you. But if I'm telling you how to do it, then just do it. I'm sending you $500. You know what I mean? That's the type of integrity that we have over here in Pleasant Management. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people will attest to that. A lot of times I just give information away. People be like, hey man, I want you to do an LLC for me. And I'm like, bro, that's free. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to throw me something for the information, that's cool. But now if you say I'm too busy, I want you to do it for me, I'll do it. I've done hundreds of them. Literally, I've done hundreds of LLCs for clients, because those clients probably work other jobs. The majority of the time they work other jobs, and they're trying to create their own business based off their profession that they're in. And I've done hundreds over the years of LLCs for clients. But those same clients, I tell me, you can do this yourself. Like I could text you all the information you need. They're like, no, man, you do it. I ain't got time for that shit. So, hey guys, I've been on here for almost an hour. I hope I gave you guys some value. Again, feel free to hit me in the DMs. I'll be right back at you tomorrow. I promise you tomorrow I have a more focused topic to discuss. But I really want you guys to think about 2025, man. Like, I don't think we've hit the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this economic depression and recession that we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we've hit the tip of the iceberg yet. And I want you guys to be prepared for it because it's going to get rough. It's going to get really, really rough. And I promise tomorrow when it comes to my TikTok, I promise to invite guests up. I promise. But right now I'm on several different platforms. So if I were to invite you up, the other people can see you right now. So, but I promise to do that. As a matter of fact, I might go on TikTok solely just tonight, one-on-one with people. But again, I hope you found value in this conversation and this topic. And remember, the only thing that's stopping you from getting you to where you need to be is your focus. You know what I'm saying? What you're consistent with is what you're good at. If you're consistent with bullshit, you're gonna be a good bullshitter. You consistent at lying and stealing, you're gonna be a good thief and a good liar. But if you consistent about, man, I want to better my conditions. I want to get out this rat race. I want to have good credit. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be all the things that my mind tell me I can accomplish. Then do that. Let's be consistent. All right? You guys have a great evening, man. See you tonight.